In this section, we're going to take a look at the standard form of an equation of a circle. So the standard form of an equation of a circle looks like x minus h, that quantity squared, plus y minus k, with that quantity squared, is equal to r squared. The center is going to be made by using the point h, k. And the radius of the circle is going to be denoted by r. Remember that the radius is the distance from the center of the circle to any point on the outside of the circle, as shown in the picture. So let's begin with an example. We want to write the standard form of the equation of the circle that has radius 5 and center -3, 6. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the standard form of the equation of the circle. Then I'm going to note that the center is the h and the k value. So I know that this -3 is the h and this 6 is the k. So I'm going to go ahead and plug those numbers into my equation. So in place of the h, I'm going to put a -3. And in place of the k, I'm going to put a 6. And we also know that the radius is 5, so in place of the r, I can place a 5. Now let's go ahead and simplify. So x minus -3 is going to become x plus 3. Y minus 6 will stay y minus 6 squared. And 5 times 5, 5 squared, is equal to 25. So now we have the standard form of the equation of a circle. Now, one thing that I want to point out that you might find helpful is to realize that when you move from the point, the h and the k value, into the equation, notice that the sign is different. So if I look at this -3 that I started with as my h value, and then I come to my equation, notice that in the parenthesis it's x plus 3. Similarly, if I take a look at this k value of +6, when I look at my equation, it's y minus 6. So you're always going to have that sort of opposite relationship between the h and the k value and the way that the parenthesis looks in the equation. All right, so let's take a look at one other example. This time we want to graph the equation x plus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 16. So in order to do that, the first thing I need to do is make a note of what the center and the radius is for this particular circle. Now remember what we just talked about in terms of looking at the opposite of the number in the parenthesis. So if I look at the x parenthesis, I notice that I have a +3 right here. So my center value is going to be -3. And if I look at my y parenthesis, I have a -2, so my center value is going to be a +2. Remember that this 16 value is your radius squared. So you have to think, what was your radius so that when you squared it, you got 16. So we know that the radius would have to have equaled 4, so that when we squared it, we got 16. Now, in terms of graphing the equation, I want to first plot my center point. So I'm going to go over -3 and up 2 and place a point for my center. And then if my radius is 4, I want to move either straight up, straight down, straight to the left, or straight to the right and plot some outside points. So radius is 4. I'm going to count over 4 units. So this would be a point on the outside. I'm going to count up 4 units. So we'd have a point there on the outside. I'm going to count to the left 4 units and down 4 units. And once you do that, then you can go in and actually connect those dots and form your circle. And so now we have a graph of the equation of our circle.